The following segment is sponsored by American Veteran Air Conditioning.
Welcome back. When you get into spring cleaning mode, you'll want to add HVAC maintenance to the top of your list. Shawn Mcgraw from American Veteran Air Conditioning is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Margaret.
Last week we went through some of the main spring cleaning items that you recommend. Talk us through the high points.
Yeah, we'll brush through it real quick. One of the main things was keeping shrubbery and things of that nature away from your unit. You want this system to breathe.
2 feet.
Correct, 2 feet. You remember well. And just a good maintenance program on that system. I mean, just like anything else that we own, we want to take care of it. And it needs to be taken care of properly. So we went through a lot of what that entailed. One of the other things that we talked about is just being cautious of where the chute's coming out on your mower, that you're not blowing all that debris up on your coil. Along with that as well goes that I didn't really touch on last week and I thought about was, well, I just put beauty bark all around my house just recently, and so making sure that we're not covering up the unit with that, so it's not coming up onto the unit, but also keeping the weeds and everything away from there. The last thing you want to do is be running a weed eater around your unit.
How often do you get to somebody's house to service it and they've just been blowing all their yard clippings directly onto their unit?
Pretty often.
Too often.
But you don't know if you don't know. But the main thing, like I said, about a weed eater around there is every unit has, this is a control cable that, I'll just pull this off, maybe. Has a control cable coming off the unit. This is low voltage wired, so it doesn't have to be sheathed in or anything like that, but the weed eater usually hits this right on. So when there's a problem with the unit and it's a control voltage short, this is the first place I go. The other issue that we see a lot is just dogs. So they need a spot to go to the bathroom just like anybody else. Your AC unit is not where you want them going. That will tear up that system.
So make sure your dog's avoiding that side.
Right.
What other tips and tricks can we learn, clean up a little bit before spring?
Right. Well, I mean, we kind of went over a lot of that. You know, making sure this condensate line that you got over there is cleared out. And
you'll do that for people?
Absolutely. We do that every time we come out, and making sure that everything is just really running efficiently, running the way it's supposed to be. And that generally takes about an hour and a half.
But it needs to be done. I'm sure you hear it all the time. People say, I can't wait for warmer weather because I want to open up my doors, I want to open up my windows. That makes you cringe. Why?
A little bit. Well, little backdrop on me. When I was a kid, my folks took me to the doctor just to see what I was allergic to, because I was always sneezing and everything else. So they did a test on my back where they put different allergens of all sorts on my back and poked it with a needle. And what swelled up was supposed to be what I'm allergic to. Well, it looked like I had the chickenpox afterwards.
So there are a lot of allergies here.
Right. So if it's green and growing, I'm allergic to it. And the bad thing about that is I love the outside. I'm an avid hunter, avid fishing. If it's outside, I want to be in it. But when I come home, that's my sanctuary. I want that to be clean and everything else. So opening up the windows really isn't an option for me, because I'm just putting an open invite for all of that to come into my house at that point. What I find works great is this is RGF Remy Halo, and this was developed for a lot of reasons, and I'll try not to throw up too much knowledge on you, but for me what this does is it has a bipolar ionization on there. So basically that's a fancy way of saying that it makes small particles attract to small particles and makes them larger, which allows it to fall to the ground to where we can vacuum it up, or makes the existing filter in our HVAC system more efficient. What it also does, and I don't have to worry about this too much because I grew up eating dirt and drinking out of the garden hose, so my immune system is pretty good. Yeah. But what it does is it creates ionized hydrogen peroxide, which sounds like a big word. It's exactly what God does for us with all the plants and shrubberies and trees outside. That's what purifies our air outside. So what this allows us to put it inside of our house actively. I came across this actually from a challenge from Craig Lambert with Creature Comforts. And about, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, there was a canine flu going around. And he said, Shawn, I need something in my facility that will combat this. And I told him, I was like, I don't know anything that does it to what you're looking for. But let me research it and let me make sure I'm putting something in your home that is actually going to do the job, or in your business that's actually going to do the job. And that's where I came across this after a few weeks of research, and does an amazing job. We put this in at a nursing home a few years back ago. They all but closed down their doors because of the flu. And this will kill a flu virus, clinically tested, third party out of some university, I think Kansas State,
Sure. And
within 3 feet of a sneeze. 99%.
And aside from this brand, the basic takeaway is if you want to be opening up your doors and windows, an air purification system of some kind is going to make a big difference. That's
Correct.
what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes up for all the pollens blowing in, or some chunk of them anyway.
It does.
Okay.
It does. It does just an amazing job. And I've got it in my house, and I put it in anybody else's, my family's, everything else. I refuse to sell something that I don't believe in personally.
A lot of interest in this time of year. Give us a really quick explanation. American Veteran, how do you do business? What makes you stand apart?
You know, I left the service, and there's a whole lot of stuff. Veterans are treated really well these days. Mm-hmm. But there's a whole lot of feedback on there as, you know, everybody's got this disorder or whatever. They can't deal with whatever they came in combat zones. My personal experience on that, where I find is you just need a mission to refocus on. We need something that is, we're so used to a high pace, high demand environment, and when we get out of that, you really don't know what to do anymore. So it was just a matter of refocusing my mission. I love heat and air. I dig into it more than I probably should, but the idea is that these guys that we hire on, they have that same mentality. And they're focused on making sure that everything is absolutely perfect in your home as far as your climate control goes.
And that's what a customer wants to hear when they need this work done. You can get in contact with American Veteran by calling the number 435-0822 or visit the website AmericanVeteranAC.com. Shawn, thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to having you back soon.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Send it back to you in the studio.